Good morning, everyone. Week 33 of PB Sports Talk Show. Good to be with you here today. Got a lot to unpack, a lot to get to, a lot of fun stuff. We'll get right to it. Please remember, follow me on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on it, on Facebook at PB Sports Talk. And my YouTube channel has been improving. It's just relatively new. Thousands and thousands of views and comments and such over the last, I'd say, week or so. PB Sports Talk Show is where you can find me on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, share, follow, all that good stuff. As far as today, doing something a little bit different, there's some interaction and engagement that I've encouraged for people to join in the show. And do you prefer being at a live sporting event or watch on TV is one of the questions. Who is the current number one face of Detroit sports for all the Michigan people where I'm from, or whatever state you live in? Who is the face of it? It could be hockey, basketball, football, baseball. It could be college, could be WNBA, could be anything. Who's the face of your sports town? And then lastly, who is the best player in the NFL at a non-quarterback position? Cannot be a quarterback, anybody else as a player, current player in the NFL. Share that right in the comment section. One of the people that comments will be a lucky winner of a $50 gift card to 925 Gift Shop, which is owned by my lovely wife, and I help her behind the scenes. So hope to get the engagement there and follow along. You can see the Lions and Ford Field is the backdrop today. I will be changing that each week and add something in a little bit different. A lot of football, a lot of basketball. You'll see that. And based on feel and based on topics and such, I'll make that relevant as we go, or I'll connect it to the relevance of the show. All right. So first thing we're going to talk about today is the Lions schedule, which we know who the teams are, but we know who's home and away, but we don't know when the games are played, times, primetime games, et cetera, which I'm sure there will be many. Folks, this is an absolute holy cow, tough ass schedule. And that's what you get, right? The better teams get the draw of the better opponents. When you finish high, you play better teams. When you finish low, you play lesser teams. So we're going to go over this one by one. And last year doesn't in every case have everything to do with this year. It's a guide, but there's a lot of teams on this list that were maybe not very good last year, but are projected to and are on track to be much better this year. So division opponents, obviously you have the Bears, you have the Packers, and you have the Vikings. Of those three, all three are legitimately improved. We'll get to who those most improved teams are, the top 5 most improved NFL teams. And just give you a sneak peek, the Bears there that you see on the screen are without question one of the most improved teams, and they're quickly becoming loaded. Very, very, very loaded. Lots and lots of talent there. That's just a tough that's going to be very tough. Obviously, one home, one away. And one of the things to point out about the Lions schedule this year is 9 games are away and 8 are home. Obviously, you have the uneven number because of the extra games. So this year is 9 away and 8 home. So 2 with the Bears, then 2 with the Packers, who I believe are a terrific team. And I think you'll really see Jordan Love get settled this year. They did a couple of things to add some talent to the team. I think they'll be much better. The Vikings, it's a bit of a crapshoot, but if everybody watched pre-draft of 2024, I had Jaden Daniels as the best quarterback on the board being drafted, 1A, and I had J.J. McCarthy being basically a 1B. And I think he's going to be a future face of the NFL. I think he's an extraordinary talent that was quite frankly underused in college in the Harbaugh system. There just wasn't a lot of chance for us to see what he could really do. We're going to see that now. Coming off the injury, I would expect him to be lights out. He's got weapons all over the field. It's a great situation for him. He's a great young man. He's got a great head on his shoulders. And I think he's going to really flourish for them. So the Vikings, man, coming off of let's see, 14-3 last year. They're no joke either. Cowboys, they just made the Pickens trade. That makes them a little bit better. I think they're still suspect in a lot of ways, and Overshawn won't be, depending on when they play him or when they play them. I don't know if he'll be back, but so a lot of questions there with the Cowboys. We'll see how that turns out. But they should be a little bit improved from last year. The Browns, that's a mess. Okay, everybody knows what I've said about Shedeur Sanders. They're going to lose Nick Chubb. It's basically a start over there. And there's just not, they brought in Flacco to kind of steady the ship, bring some veteran leadership in there to just kind of calm things, right? And then they went and did the unthinkable. And so every day now is the question of Shedeur Sanders and who got the most reps. And it's already a comical joke, and it's unfortunate to see. I'm not sure how I saw that. No one else saw that, but I digress. So Cleveland should be able to handle that, no problem. The Bucks, they're a tough out no matter what, and they've improved in the offseason. Emeka is a huge addition for them. With Godwin uncertain, they'll be a much better team. The Giants, one of the most improved teams in the NFL. They're not there yet, but I do believe, and I have said, and I'm on record, and 32,000 people viewed one of my post shares yesterday, and New York fans. And Jackson Dart, I believe, is the number one quarterback that came out of this year's draft. I don't even actually believe it's very close. I think he's going to be a superstar in this league, barring injury. Scadabo, Abdul Carter, I mean, they've really done some things, and I just don't think they'll be as much of a laughing stock. Really got to give the Mara family a little bit of credit there as far as keeping Brian Dable installed as a head coach. There's still some structure there, and it's not changing over again, right? So it'd be interesting to see how this all develops, but they're very much improved. The Steelers, again, that's just not a good situation. I don't know what they're doing over there, to be honest with you. Mike Tomlin is a guy that you really want representing your franchise. The guys did an incredible job, but there's something fundamentally wrong with the Steelers, and they didn't address the quarterback position, and I don't think Sanders should have been that guy. If there's anybody that doesn't fit with a program, with an organization, it's Shedeur Sanders with the Rooneys and Shedeur Sanders with Mike Tomlin. When I heard everybody saying that, oh, here come the Steelers are coming up, they're going to take Sanders. They were never going to take Sanders. It's just not something that they're going to deal with. You saw what happened with Pickens, right? He's gone. You've seen it with other players in the past. You must be a team guy, and if you're a me guy, you don't play there. It's pretty simple. So they're really struggling. Mason Rudolph at quarterback. We'll see. I thought the pick very, very late to get Will Howard was strong, and that could end up being something at some point down the road. I think that'll be an upgrade from Rudolph, but that's a relatively easy opponent. And so then when you go below there and you see away, obviously you got the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings again. But here's where it gets really crazy. And offensively, these teams are basically juggernauts. The Bengals, I'm not sold on them defensively. I thought they overspent to keep all their players on offense. I understand why they did it, but you cannot hide the fact that you've tied up so much money in those guys, and they feel like they've addressed some of the defensive liabilities or the defensive shortcomings. But, I mean, somebody forgot about injuries. They're still going to happen. There's just not depth there, but it's a major offensive weapon. It's on the road. It's, in an open stadium, and that'll be a tough beat. You got the Chiefs. And again, we're going to see when these games are played and how far into winter it is and how cold it is there. That's a beast of a place to play. They will be improved as well. They should be back healthy. The Chiefs, they're there every year. So, I mean, you have to look at that. Washington, obviously, ejected, for lack of a better word, the Lions from the postseason this past year, and they've significantly improved and basically top 5 or 6 most improved team. Then you got the Super Bowl champs and the Eagles there again on the road. Very well-rounded team, another solid draft, and they just reload, and it's like, what? And then you got the Rams who offensively they're a very steady team, and Stafford's still getting it done. He's got the weapons around him. You have you have Devontae Adams now on one side, and you have Puka Nacua on the other side. You've got a terrific running game. You've got a very good tight end, and you've added another. So they're formidable. Then you got the Ravens, which are always a tough out. It's like, wow, this is a crazy, crazy schedule. And what is so ironic is, it'll be 5 years now. This season makes 5 years ago when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes started, and I predicted that within 5 years the Lions would be in the Super Bowl. So they got close, obviously, a couple of years ago, just a half away, winning at a half away to get there. The prediction would have come true. Now it's the last year, and we're going to see if it comes true. And it's like you play a schedule like this in the final year for it to come true is pretty crazy. So a combined record, their opponents combined record 125 and 103. Now, you could say it works both ways. That you could say if a team is 14-3, which the Vikings were, 14-3, which the Eagles were, 12-5 Ravens, 12-5 Washington, you can say 11-6 Pack. You could say, oh yeah, so you got, those are skewed numbers to the positive, skewed numbers to the win side. And then I would say that there actually is Cleveland, who was 3 wins, 3-14, the Giants, who was 3-14, and then the Bears, who were 5-12. My point to this is it's a bit deceiving. Those teams aren't as bad as that anymore. So it's the 125 and 103, 22 games over 500. It's not gangbusters, but I think it's skewed because of those kind of like one-off. Well, maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, Cleveland, they're not going to be a whole lot better, but 3-14 Giants, they're going to be better. The Bears 5-12, they're going to be much, much, much better. Cowboys 7-10, they should be better. It's just laced. The entire schedule basically is laced with challenges, and it's going to be interesting to see how they navigate that and stay healthy and all of that type of stuff. Third toughest schedule in the NFL, ranked that way right now. And then, of course, where it falls and who you're playing and at what time of the year, the outdoor games in the cold, that all will factor in. But in terms of a record and such, it's the third most difficult schedule in the NFL. And again, that's what you get for being good. That comes with it. So should be very, very, very interesting. In terms of my thoughts on the Lions, it's like, well, first of all, half the team is Georgia. Half the team is the SEC and the Big Ten. Brad Holmes is very much, and you can't blame him, right? Very much addicted to the Big Ten and the SEC players, winning programs, guys playing the right way. That all factors in the mentality and the philosophy of who they are and how they draft. Those players come in prepared, and particularly the Kirby Smart guys, Nick Saban, lots of guys on our team that played for Nick Saban. Those are world-class coaches. And they just keep stockpiling those players. And I don't have the exact number of SEC and Big Ten percentage that makes up the roster, but 4 more Georgia this year alone, including Jackson Meeks, who they signed as a undrafted free agent, which keep your eye on him. I put it on X last night. Keep your eye on Jackson Meeks. I watched him quite a bit. He used to be in Georgia, transferred from Georgia to Syracuse, and played with Kyle McCord, who, you can't even keep track of this stuff anymore. Played with Kyle McCord, who was Syracuse's quarterback and was former Buckeyes quarterback. And, he doesn't have world-class speed at, I believe, 4.65 in the 40, but he has great range, great size, football speed, and he's really good at winning the 50-50 balls. Strong at the point of catch and things like that. So, they've got some guys that they drafted early, mid, and late. And then as I said, undrafted free agents. I think that there's something there. They addressed the trenches again. Everybody's wondering, hey, why didn't they address the other end? Hazen, I can never, Isaac, will never, I can't get his name right all the time, but another Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell kind of guy, just a warrior, sports warrior that wants to come after it every day. He can do it. Davenport, we'll see if they bring Zadarius Smith back. It'd be interesting to see how that all pans out. The biggest key, obviously, is Hutchinson coming back healthy, and then healthy across all three levels of the defense, including your depth, because you're going to need it this year as much as any. I mean, you need it every year, but you're playing some really crazy offensive teams this year. I mean, most teams are very good offensively, but seems like it's very skewed this year in terms of who they're playing. I mean, would you rather play a team like Arizona's offense, or would you rather play a team like Kansas City's offense? So, I mean, would you rather play Tennessee's offense, or would you rather play the Eagles' offense? So they got, the short end of the schedule stick, and it's going to be tough. So, I think it's going to be a great season overall. We've got a long way to go here. Just, the mini camp just started, yesterday or the day before. Long way to go. This thing will change, 5 ways to Sunday between now and, September. A lot of things can happen too, by the way. There's certain things that can happen roster wise and changes and development of the roster between now and then too. There's opportunity. So they're always looking to improve, and look, they're solid, very, very solid in all three phases of the game. And Tesla, I said it, and I'm going to say it again. I think this kid is going to shock a lot of people, and it's not just because Brad Holmes thought so. It's because when you look at the sheer talent, you look at the guy's ability, you look at where he played at Arkansas with no real quarterback, and you look at the skill set. If you take that and put it on another team that has, a more explosive, I'll say, type of offense with a quarterback who can really distribute the ball, and a place where he would have gotten more playing time because of the way the system was set up, we would be having a different conversation. People wouldn't be freaking out about, oh, the Lions moved up whatever amount of spots and gave up 3rd-round picks for next year. They eyeballed this guy. They didn't think he was going to be there. They were worried he wasn't going to be there if they let it go on any further, and they went after him. And again, understand the situation of who the guy is, what his skill set is, how it fits, and then what it replaces, meaning Jameson Williams. We know he's not going to be here, guys. We know it's 2 years max. He will not be a Detroit Lion after this upcoming year, and then one more, he won't be a Detroit Lion. If he does well, he will command too much money, and you can't keep him. And then you have Tesla, who will be entering his 3rd year when Jameson moves on. So a great opportunity to learn. I think he's gonna plug. He's gonna plug now. You will have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you will have Jameson Williams, and you will have Tesla a lot, along with obviously Laporta in a stacked backfield and Goff. So I think they'll be in it. They'll be definitely in the conversation. We'll see if the prediction comes true. It's a hell of a gauntlet to get through to get to that point. But truthfully, if anybody can do it, this team is stacked to do it. And they won't shy away from a schedule like this. They'll be able to handle it. All right, top 5 most improved teams. We'll go. I have 4 on here actually, so we'll go with 4. The 4th most improved team post draft, post free agency is the Giants. As I said earlier, I already gave it away. Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter, Cam Scadaboo, leaving Dable in place. I think the structure is there. You obviously have Russell Williams and Jameis Winston to help along the process. Bring a veteran guy in there is better than Tommy DeVito, Daniel Jones. It's just it's a better situation for the Giants. These are extremely talented players, and they should be worlds better. The Raiders, my now 2nd favorite team, Tom Brady, and what he's done with that organization and getting John Spytek and Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly. and all the way down, um, I got them as the third most improved team. Ashton Giante, back from TCU, Charles Grant from Michigan. I just what they did with Geno Smith, I think, was a really, really smart move. He's not the end all be all, but you've got some things that's going to be interesting to see too. You have Jacoby Myers, then you have Brock Bowers, and now you'll have back as a tight end in there with Giante in the backfield. I mean, you have some legit options, and again, there's time to improve some more. All right, this one pains me. I hate to say it, but it's very, very true because I just got so cringy about Ben Johnson when he left the Lions. How he's acted, how he talks, just the way he conducts himself is just, ooh. So obviously in division rival for the Lions is the Bears. Holy smokes, man. They didn't get Travion Henderson, which again, I'm on record for saying Travion Henderson, I believe, is equal to, if not better than, but equal to Ashton Giante. And I wanted the Raiders to swing back around and get him. Pass on Giante, take Mason Graham if he was there. He ended up not being there, but take somebody else and then swing back and get Travion. But they went how a lot of people thought that they would go. But the Bears with Colston Loveland and Luther Burden, I mean, on top of DJ Moore, on top of Cole Kmet, it's like there's weaponry all over the field. They have improved the offensive line. They've improved a little bit defensively. They're obviously in a better coaching spot, regardless of what I think of Ben Johnson. It's a huge upgrade from what they had, even though he's a first-time head coach. That was just a circus. He's got his guys in. I'm not a big Caleb Williams guy, but he should be better with more weapons. And they're going to be super, super tough to beat. And then number one is New England. And much of this is because they had the most amount of cap money to spend. I think it was 123 or 126 million. And they just all over the field. They just it was like a like a buffet of players that they added because they had so much money. And speaking of Travion Henderson, that's their new running back. Got weapons now. Stephon Diggs to go around Drake May, although he's not, a legit number one anymore, in my opinion. They've done a lot of things to improve that team, and they will definitely not be what they were last year. And so those are those. I said five, but those are the four. You can pick. Washington did a hell of a job. There are some other teams in there that did as well. So Giants at 4, Raiders at 3, Bears at 2, and the Patriots at 1 as the 4 most improved teams. All right, moving on to one of my coaching idols, and he sits on one of the signs that I have, and a lot of my graphics and in my wall sign as just a coaching idol of mine. Having been a former coach in a different sport, I really modeled myself after Bill Belichick. And it's very difficult to argue with what he did. We can have the argument for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years about who was a greater impact to New England. Was it Belichick or was it Brady or was it a combination of both? I think you can make an argument either way. Brady went on and did it without him, but Bill hasn't gone on and done it without him. And then gone from New England and now at UNC. So Bill's 72, 73. He's dating this. I don't like to talk about people's personal life. I really don't. But as it relates to the sports world, and this was an on-fire topic yesterday all over social media, is this basically like circus show type environment and atmosphere with North Carolina now that Belichick is there and his girlfriend is so heavily involved as his administrative assistant. She's controlling interviews. She's walking out on the field during off-season workouts. It's like had the mess with the 60 Minutes interview. She's telling them what they can cover, what they can't cover, or what they can talk about, what they can't talk about. Then defends herself by saying they had previously arranged agreements on what would be discussed, and the show went in a different direction. And then she didn't like that, but she was sitting right off screen. And it's like, Bill, what you doing, man? Your legacy, an amazing legacy. So all the rage yesterday was UNC banned her. And this went on for most of the day yesterday. And it was flying viral online. And then UNC came out late in the day and said, basically squashed it, that there's no truth to it, that she's welcome to, welcome around the program, et cetera. So who knows exactly, but this is not going down a good path. And if she's allowed to still continue that, I mean, I think it was JJ Watt that said in the last 3 months, we've heard more about North Carolina, University of North Carolina, than we have in the last 5 years. He's right. And there's often a phrase that's used that says any PR is better than no PR. And in some cases, I would agree with that. I don't agree with it, though, in this spot, to the extent and the reasoning behind why it is that the program is being talked about and it's being on the front page. I don't know if that's what you want to have happen. This is your head football coach that's trying to make a university relevant in a portal and in a NIL world. And he has said he's going to come in. He said this a long time ago. He's going to come in and he's going to run it like a professional team, like an NFL team would win or would play and manage their team, because they're paid players and you're recruiting guys out of other teams the same as you would a free agent, except they can become a free agent every 6 months. It's the most mind-boggling thing that I've ever seen in my lifetime of almost 53 years of something so jacked up in sports, is that you can play for a team for 6 months, you can leave and go someplace else and play for a team for 6 months, and you can leave again and go play for a team for 6 months. So it's a constant portal thing going on. And it's like, do you want to go play for Bill Belichick in that circus? Somebody objected to what I said and said, not one of these guys is not going to go play for Bill Belichick because of what's going on. And they might be right. They might be right. But I don't know if this thing is going to stop. This, again, I don't like to talk about people, but in terms of the sports context, she married a billionaire prior to Bill Belichick. Her net worth is about $8 million going into the Belichick relationship. He's 50 years older. I mean, I don't know what the strategy is there, but I think it's working out probably exactly how she wants it to. And in the process, Bill, I think his legacy is getting enormously affected. It's becoming kind of comical, circus-like, and it's like, come on, Bill. So, I mean, it's tough to watch, I think is a good way that I would describe it. It is really, really tough to watch this continue, and hopefully it stops. Really, honestly, hopefully it stops. All right, so on to some NBA stuff. NBA playoffs going on, and I gotta say, I have been a huge. I've been very vocal about the NBA and its cataclysmic fall from a once great game and what it's become and what it's about and everything. But there's something that is clear now that I think it's happened a little bit in the first round, but now it's happening more and more. The game, these guys are taking it seriously and they're playing defense. And not only are they playing defense, they're playing physical. They don't give a shit who you are. They don't give a care how it might make them look. It's like I see something different in that they are all in it to win it. And if you're soft, I don't like that word too much, but if you're a soft or a more laid back player, you're getting exposed. And I'm going to say this right now. I said it a little bit yesterday on social, and of course I got crushed because, the young generation, I guess, just doesn't think about it quite the same, is Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has had success. Obviously, he's an NBA champion. He's gone for his 35, 45, 50 points. He's had big moments. I'd like for you to go look at that tape and at that film and see how he acquired that. And I think what you'll see overwhelmingly is that there was very little, if any, defense being played on him. He was allowed to shoot basically from anywhere he wanted. No one would deny some of his athletic ability athletic ability and what he can do when he gets on a streaky run. Most specifically from deep. All right. No one's questioning that. But I'd like everybody to take a look at what's going on against the Knicks. The Knicks are a defense first team, period. That's Tom Thibodeau. It's always been Tom Thibodeau. And he didn't get the buy-in at Minnesota. He didn't get the buy-in at the Bulls. He's got the buy-in now. And now he has the pieces and the people who believe. And Anunoby is destroying Jason Tatum, literally destroying. And you often, not often, majority of the time, you hear an offensive player destroying a defensive player. In this case, it's a defensive player, destroying an offensive player. And so here's a couple of interesting numbers. In game 2, and it was similar in game 1, but in game 2, Anunoby guarded Jason Tatum on 53% of his offensive possessions. 1 shot attempt, 0 points. Whoa. There 53% of the time means that there's 47% of the time somebody else is guarding him. So they're sending different looks at him and at different times of the game. And when you watched game 2, where they went down 0-2, blew 2 20-point games, you're watching Jason Tatum come down the court in a last-second shot opportunity. And I hope that everybody sees what I saw. I saw Jason Tatum with limited offensive one-on-one ability when the moment is biggest and brightest against basically one of the best defensive players in the NBA. He had no ability to shake him whatsoever. He ended up over-dribbling the ball. He got to about the top of the key or just inside and started going left, basically 90 degrees, and is taking himself away from the basket and then decides to shoot a fadeaway jumper basically off of 1 foot and gets it rejected. If you are one of the best players in the world and you have the right frame of mind and you have an opportunity to put your team in a position to go into overtime or win, you have got to be able to have something more to offer in that spot. And big guy like that too is just he's actually limited, folks. He's limited as to what he can do. I actually believe that Jaylen Brown is a more skilled one-on-one player than Tatum is. And people will see this video when I cut it up, and I'll get all called all sorts of names, but I think it's revealing itself. And why it took this long, I don't know. It's a Thibodeau mindset. Thibodeau understands the game defensively, looks at it through a different lens, and he's less about the offense and he's less about all that flashy stuff and more about what it will take to win. And they beat the Pistons, and they did very similar things to Cade Cunningham in a similar moment. Now they're doing it to Jason Tatum in a similar moment. And as far as, my whole outlook, my whole perception of Jason Tatum has changed a lot. All right, Draymond Green. Okay, man. I'm from Michigan. He's from Michigan. Terrific player. Has done a lot over the years. This is sickening. It's sickening to watch now what this guy continues to do. And then he goes and plays victim. And then he says, angry black man and all this stuff. It's like, and there was an article like the day before yesterday that said the 2 days that changed Draymond Green, and all this silly press where they just take something and go with it. Like he's going to change. Like he's going to remove everything that he is, and he's going to do that in 2 games because, this or that reason. The NBA has talked to him. The league, the players union, the players association, the NBA, his coaches, the referees, teammates, they are constantly trying to get him to just stop. Again, you got to look past the talent. And it's like, so I come from the 80s and 90s era, and the Lambeers and the Mahorns and these types of things in a very physical game. Everybody did it. could be the Bulls with Bill Cartwright, Robert Parrish with the Celtics. There was hard fouls by every single team. But it's like Draymond Green with the arms flailing to make sure he hits people in the face or the throat or the neck or the head, or his legs hitting people in the groin, kicking him in the chest. It's like, dude, enough already. Suspend this guy. And I mean, they're limited as to what they can do because of the collective bargaining agreement. But it's like, enough. Put in a certain rule, right? It's just too much. It's a really bad example. He seems to hurt his team constantly, and again, tough to watch. Very, very tough to watch. Stephen Curry, who's injured, unfortunately, and likely won't return until Game 6, they think. We'll see if he can push that a little bit, but it's a hamstring. He's 37, doesn't heal like it once did. We'll see if he can come back. But Steph Curry, when I did my all NBA top 15, you can find that on my feed on X. You can find it on my YouTube channel. I have Steph Curry at number 6 all time. I'm hopeful that he could come back, because if he could come back in this series, basically Golden State has to win at least one more game to give it a shot for him to come back. And can he come back and be 100? I don't know. We'll see. But while I picked the Timberwolves to win this series, it's not like it's a holy cow, overwhelmingly going to beat them type of thing. They're beatable if Golden State is healthy, and with guys like that and Jimmy Butler and what they can do, and Draymond when he's not being a jerk. And the Warriors have a couple of young players that are kind of developing before our very eyes. And if they leave Kuminga alone, leave the guy in the game. It shouldn't have taken, Steph Curry to get injured to open up some time, some minutes. Put Kuminga in the game, Steve Kerr. Let him develop. Let him play. He has the talent. He has the athleticism. Let him go. But we'll see if Curry comes back. But look, dude is one more away from 5. He has 4 rings, everybody. It's unbelievable. And I just don't think the guy gets his due. He just doesn't. Maybe it's because he's smaller. I don't know. Maybe it's because he doesn't really say a lot. I don't know. But pretty amazing what he's doing. And hopefully he gets back. All right. I talked about this last week and quite a bit lately. And again, there's really very few topics, it seems, that are talked about on social media more than the Los Angeles Lakers and anything LeBron. And so I'm just going to say this again, and I'm on video with it. It's been viewed ginormous amount of times, but just from a little bit different perspective, more with some updates in it. I think the Lakers are going to blow this. I really do. I think it's looking more and more like LeBron's going to come back again, that they're going to re-sign Luka. They met with him actually the day after or 2 days after they got eliminated at a restaurant. His agent was present. Rob Pelinka and other people from the Lakers met and walked out, signed autographs, had papers in his hands, whatever. It looks like they're going to keep him and then probably look to go make a trade and do a splash and do something like Giannis and have Giannis and LeBron and Luka go. I'll say the same thing that I said before. In the Lakers, they're going to just, I don't know, you think you're Hollywood, you think you're the Lakers, and you think you just have to do this. I can't think of a worse way to go about doing this if they do what I think that they're going to do, which is what I just said. And go out and get a guy like Giannis, LeBron, Luka, and a couple of, I don't know, loose scrap parts from the local junkyard, because that's all they'd be able to afford. Much like this past year, no depth, no real anything. And they would have to give up Austin Reeves in order to, in any trade. That's the only thing of value that they have. If I'm the Lakers, I politely ask LeBron to step away. We'd like to go in a different direction. You put Luka Doncic on the market and get the largest haul you can get. That's basically what I think they could get in return is 2 now players that you can plug and play right now, and 2 to 3 number 1 future picks. That I think is the move. So you no longer have LeBron, you no longer have Luka, you have the two now players, you have 2 or 3 number 1 picks, you have Austin Reeves, and you freed up a lot of money. Build the team around Austin Reeves. Those 2 now players, you're going to get 1 very good player, and you're going to stockpile some draft picks. Anything other than that jeopardizes your entire future. Luka Doncic is not a guy you build your franchise around. It will require max money. 300, I believe, and 45 million, I believe, is the max amount. You would basically lock him up. He'd be a Laker for life. Suppose you could trade him at some point, but he'll have no trade clauses in there and such. $345 million you're going to invest into a one-dimensional player, a one-side of the ball player in Los Angeles with a franchise that basically doesn't have much around. So let's say you do get Giannis, and you have Giannis and Luka. Reeves will be gone eventually after a year, or if that trade happened, he's gone now. LeBron would be gone after a year. What do you have? So you have 2 guys that need to have the ball in their hands, and it's like, I don't know what you're going to accomplish. It is not even the style of players that are really going to help you. Actually, if you ask me, Giannis is better to build your team around than Luka is. I know that might sound crazy, but he does things on both sides of the ball. Luka is a generational talent offensively, but he's a whiner. He's a baby. He's out of shape. His own coach called him out indirectly by saying, as a team, we need to get in championship shape. He's only speaking about him. I really think he's only speaking about him. Pretty clear as day. You need to say that to your guy who historically has a problem for 6 years, whatever it's been, and the way he handles his weight and conditioning and the inability to move his feet. And even if he got in better shape, he just is who he is. He's not a fleet of foot type of guy. He's more of a lumbering type of player. Amazing hesitation, the hezzy dribbles and everything on offense. Terrific, but he's not the type of player to build your franchise around. I think the Lakers are going to blow it. And again, that's what I would do. Ask LeBron to leave, trade Luka to the highest bidder, keep Austin Reeves, take your couple of now players, stockpile those picks, rebuild yourself, and do it the right way from the ground up instead of acquiring free agents. It's not going to give you some key to success. You still have to go through the OKCs. You still have to go through the Denvers. If the Clippers play their cards right, they could or should improve. It's not just going to come because you're doing that. And how much you want to set your franchise back. Look at what Sam Presti did. That's how you build a team. Look at what Les Snead has done, for the Rams. That's how you do it. Build your team through the draft. Put a piece or 2 around. But we're going to just go get the largest free agent because we're the Lakers. It's not going to work. It's just, honestly, it's not going to work. All right. The questions on the side of the screen. Do you prefer being at a live sporting event or watch on TV? From my point of view, with the advent of technology, whether it's 55, 65, 70, 75, 80-inch screens, obviously the Lions stadium right behind me here. If you gave me free tickets to go to the 50-yard line in row of 15, I'd probably want to do that because I don't think I've ever, well, I know I haven't sat at the 50-yard line on the 12th, at the 12th, on the 12th row when the team has been this good, not that close. I had club level seats when they were really good back in the Barry days. But this Lions organization, a really, truly winning team, I haven't. So I might want to do that one time. But if you asked me to do it again the following week and you gave me free tickets, I would say no, honestly. Same with Pistons, same with, University of Michigan. It just basically doesn't really interest me. It's not a great experience in terms of enjoying yourself, going to the bathroom, eating snacks, whatever. It's obviously very expensive to do. If you're going to a game where everybody wants to be at, so you go to Michigan, Michigan Stadium, 111,000 people, you're a sardine. You can't even move. The Lions is no different. The seats are what they are. It's like you can't even relax. So for me, it's watching it on TV, whether you do that with friends or alone or wife or girlfriend, whatever. For me, that's what I like to do. Um, who is the current number one face of Detroit sports, or whatever state a person might be in? This was brought up on social yesterday, and I see Tariq Skubal being one. I see Dan Campbell being one. I don't think it's either one of them. First of all, I think it's impossible for it to not be football related. So Campbell's football related, but Skubal is not the face of Detroit, in my opinion. Football is king. I think football is king basically in any state. It certainly is in Michigan. It's not hockey town. It's football town, and I think it's Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson is the face of Detroit. Um, he's loved by all. His performance is at such an extraordinary level. Not that Skubal's is not, and another amazing performance here just the other day. So, Cy Young Award winner. Don't get me wrong, dude's amazing. He's doing things that have never been done in the history of the game. So, it's not a knock on his ability or anything, but I do believe that Aiden Hutchinson is the man. When you saw the draft come in and you saw whatever it was, 80-foot or 100-foot banner on the side of a building was Aiden Hutchinson. I just don't think that you'll see Skubal be put on a side of a building like that and have the same type of impact. Not that he doesn't deserve a banner, left-handed, just dude's a friggin' stud. But I think Aiden Hutchinson is the man that way for Michigan. All right, who is the best player in the NFL at the non-quarterback position? I got to be honest, I didn't give it a lot of thought. It's a tough one, right? Would you say Saquon Barkley? I mean, that's certainly certainly an option. Would you say Jamar Chase? I think that's an option. Man, I keep wanting to say a quarterback. It's difficult to do because we always look at it in that context of quarterback being the best player of a team, best player in the NFL, the face of a league. We don't often think about a wide receiver or a running back or a defensive player. So this is really a toughie, and I'll probably continue this when there are more people watching for a future week. But I do think you could say Justin Jefferson, obviously up in that conversation. There again, I almost went to a quarterback. It's really some might say CD Lamb. I don't agree with that, but that's an interesting one. I would have to say Barkley's up there. I would have to say Justin Jefferson is up there. Jamar Chase is certainly up there. We'll see if there's some other players that develop from some other teams here, and really, Brock Bowers is heading that way. If I'm being honest, that dude's now he's got Geno Smith to throw him the ball. It's not Aiden O'Connell and God knows what else they had over there. So watch for him to go through the roof in performance. But anyways, I thought that'd be something interesting to talk about. It's very subjective, right? There's just a lot of players to consider with that. So today we got Golden State and Minnesota playing again, and I'll close it up with this, and we have Minnesota and Golden State, and we have Knicks and Celtics game 3. I was listening, I think it was Brian Windhorst or somebody else yesterday that said the winner of game 3 wins the series. If Boston wins this game today, they're not winning this series. Not at this point. I don't see it. The Knicks are just too tough. They're too well schooled. They're too good defensively. And, Boston is completely out of rhythm. So if the Knicks happen to lose and lose game 3, which would be at home, they're at home now. Say they were going down 2-1 heading into game 4, which is also at home, I think they'll be fine. I think the Knicks up 2-0, they're not gonna lose this series. I did pick Boston to beat them. That's looking like a huge mistake. I think the Knicks are in the driver's seat, and again, they're so well schooled. I don't expect them to have a huge let up. When you look at Oklahoma City the other day when they went down 1-0, and then they came back and it was 140 110 or something like that. That was a resounding thumping, and to get yourself back in the series and then lose it in overtime last night. I don't see the Celtics doing that to the Knicks at home, the way that team is constructed defensively and the offensive options that they have to kill runs with Brunson and with Towns, and then everyone else playing their role to basically perfection. Anunoby, terrific from downtown. Josh Hart doing his thing. Mikal Bridges doing his thing. There's just there's just a lot there that I don't see them overwhelming them and going up, winning the series because of this game. So I disagree with that. I would expect the Knicks to win today and take that to 3-0. Suppose there could be a let up, but I just think there's too much going there at 3-0. I would expect Golden State to rebound a little bit tonight. Going to be tough without Curry. You need Butler. You need Podensky. You need guys like Kuminga. You need other Draymond Green, if he can just stay out of the penalty box, to give a hockey term. We'll see. But I think Golden State has a real shot to win that game tonight. That'll be fun to watch, fun to see what happens out there. So we're going to end the show a little bit early today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate the support. Please continue to follow me again on X at PB Sports Talks with an S, on Facebook at PB Sports Talk. My YouTube channel is PB Sports Talk. That's growing, putting a lot more material up there. Of the three, there's more focus on X, and there's a growing focus on YouTube. I'm working on a couple of guests. One is a former player who went on and won a high school state championship in Michigan. We're trying to get a date together. That'd be a very, very interesting topic. Having coached him and know him as I do, and how he performed after he left, I think it's a really unique story, and I look forward to getting that locked in. And there's some other things in the works, and maybe a big name here to come very, very soon. We'll see on that. So everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your Saturday and enjoy your Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. To my mother, who's no longer with, happy Mother's Day, Mom. I say this every week. I try to always remind myself never to forget. Life is short. Hold someone, hug someone, love someone, especially Mother's Day. Moms and ladies across the world are underappreciated, in my opinion. What they do for society, what they do for life, what they do bearing children, what they do raising children, what they do for us guys. Honestly, I mean it sincerely. And I mean that in the workforce too. Very, very, very underappreciated. So celebrate with Mom. She deserves it. And everybody enjoy. Everybody be well. Have a great weekend, all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.